doing?
How are you this evening?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm good. You're already on record.
There is a surplus.
I knew it wasn't it. It was supposed to.
How's French Lick?
2.5 hours away. The traffic is.
No shortcut now, is there?
There isn't. There are only long cuts now. Traffic everywhere down there. And there's so many people. I think they said there's 1,100 registrants.
Oh, you guys are the main.
We're ready.
Hey, would everyone please stand and for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for an invocation? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, as we gather this evening, we ask as always for strength, courage, and wisdom. And we thank you for the opportunity to serve this fine community that we live in. And we ask that you continue to grace our community with the good people. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Welcome, everyone. We're going to call to order it is today, October 5th, meeting of the Mooresville Town Council. Gentlemen, have had an opportunity to read the minutes from the previous meeting. I need a motion to either approve or amend those minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes of the September 21st meeting.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Craig Dustin, 5-0. Unfinished business. This is a budget adoption. You have resolution, but that is an ordinance, isn't it?
Budget should be an ordinance because it's
Yeah,
appropriation.
that's what I thought it is. Okay, yes. And the agenda is marked as a resolution, just applying to oversight. It is an ordinance. Are there any comments or questions on the budget? I need a motion to approve, deny, or take no action on the budget.
Motion to approve the 2021 budget.
2022.
I'm sorry.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'm going to oppose, as I stated last meeting. If anybody wants my rationale, they can watch the meeting from last time. It's a process proposal, not necessarily the content.
Next item on the agenda is dedicate Phase 1 Village of Eastmore. Dave, do you want to enlighten us a little bit on this?
Sure. I was contacted by Mr. Auburn Hopkins this past week, and I'm a little bit of an error. It's actually Phase 3 of the Villages of Eastmore. He stated that everything is constructed to town standards. I did do an inspection, and that is the case. And he would like to dedicate that to the town for maintenance.
Paved and finish coat,
Street
everything?
signs, curb and gutter, yes.
Okay. And like Phase 1, which we've already accepted, correct?
I think Phase 1 is a little further to the west. You've got the plat there. While speaking to him on the phone, he described the area that is actually Phase 3. I verified it with Holloway Engineering. What he wants to dedicate is what we're looking at here, Section 3. Phase 1 is a little further to the west. It was going to be a commercial strip. It's not to town standards yet.
We've accepted this part here, though. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And what is he calling this?
That's Phase 2.
Phase 2. And this goes all the way to this Hanging Rock Drive, and I mean, this part back here is not Saratoga Court. Hanging Rock, that is not.
That is not developed. The sewers need improvement, streets, sidewalks, everything. It's not developed yet. This area, Phase 3, is town standards.
And again, this is roads only, no alleys, no
Correct.
street lighting, nothing.
That was the agreement with the Plan Commission, that the alleys and lighting would be maintained by the HOA or homeowner.
Questions of Dave? I have not personally been out there to look at the curbs and gutters. I trust Dave, but I have not looked at them. I don't know if we want to delay this or go ahead and approve it based on his testimony.
I'm good with approving based on Dave. He's going to be the one to monitor that anyway.
Comments or questions for Dave?
Anything else
would assume that we want a motion to have legal counsel move forward with the dedications of the streets only. Can I have that in the form of a motion?
So moved.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Dustin, Jeff, 5-0. www.mooresville200.com.
If you don't mind, I'll just introduce this. This isn't on, is it? Diane, can you turn this on? Here it's on. Thanks. So this is the town of Mooresville, the council a while back appointed 2 co-chairs for the 200th anniversary, which is coming up in 2024. And we wanted to get ahead of the planning for that so that it's a really quality event. So as such, the committee there's committees forming and all of that sort of thing right now. The co-chairs asked me just to alert the public that if you want information about the 200th anniversary, you can go to www.mooresville200.com, and on the site you'll find 2 things right now. The site's just a kind of an under construction site. You'll find the opportunity to volunteer. There's committees listed there that they're looking for people to chair, people to just participate in, and then you can also submit your ideas as members of the public so that those will go to the 200th anniversary committee. So I just want to repeat that one more time, mooresville200.com, and it's up and running right now.
But that will become more.
Yeah,
It
eventually.
just has the 2 things on it.
Yeah, Jarbo Marketing is helping them design a stellar website. It's going to have all kinds of really great features, and right now it's just a informational site, working site, but eventually it'll have a calendar for all of the events in town and all kinds of information on the site that'll be available throughout.
Thank you. New business. Movie in the Park Farmhouse Market.
We got a few things we want to tell you about, not just the movie in the park, so we made a list. But I'm asking if the 2 of you could share, because I only printed out 6, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Pretty good.
Hey, what's on your shirt? A patriotic cow?
That's right. Got to keep the farm theme going.
There you go.
Here, let me get this to Shane.
Oh, I didn't touch it.
Here you go, Shane.
Thank you.
So the first thing we want to talk to you about is on November 20th, we want to do a movie in the park, which we picked Polar Express because it's close to Christmas time. From 6:30 to 8:30.
Roughly. Kind of reached out briefly. Right now, we know the park has a projector and a screen. We're going to reach out to AMC about possibly co-sponsoring the event. That way we have the movie rights to use to actually present it. And kind of kick that off as like a family movie night, because we know the following weekend, November 26th and 27th, which I got to briefly talk with Tom about a little bit, is try to coordinate with the town as far as this year when we're doing the tree lighting, the Shop Small Saturday, which will be the following day on the 27th. We know the Victorian Christmas thing is probably not happening, so we want to pick that up and run with it this year, because a lot of you guys know there's still a lot of small businesses down here that's still hurting. And we're not asking to shut down the streets, we're not asking to shut down parking lots, do vendors this, but we kind of want to pick up the Christmas celebration this year and run with it. I think we've done a good job with the street festivals, with help from everybody. We got a lot of businesses involved, and we're wanting to try to capitalize on the Shop Small Saturday. with a couple events in the park. I've got a college Santa Claus that we used last year when we did our fundraiser with InnoCare. And we got him again this year. And he's wanting to possibly come out for the Christmas tree lighting. This guy does Santa Claus 365 days a year. It's not just, he's wanting to come out for the Christmas tree lighting. He's wanting to come out and do pictures with kids and families and stuff, and this year in the park, if we can get it all set up, which I think we can. We do a pretty good job coordinating everything, and with everybody else's help, I think it'd be a good transition. And we'd like to try to coordinate with you guys as far as when we're decorating, what our plans are as far as like the tree and the park and the lighting, and try to coordinate it as actually. I know instead of doing like the Victorian thing this year, maybe do like a small town Christmas celebration, get some of these small shops involved. We're talking about, Saturday doing like a chili cook-off thing too. Each business presents some chili, and I've spoke with the new owners of Ralph and Ava's, awesome. And they're talking about if we do the movie night in the park and we do the Christmas tree lighting, they're wanting to do like hot chocolate, hot cocoa, stuff like that out of their side door. So we've already reached out to a lot of the businesses, and that's going to be something for us to pick up and carry on this year. That way we can show some type of consistency with these guys down here and get all the other businesses involved, and just kind of use this as a basic itinerary of what we got in mind and what we can try to coordinate with you guys to make this happen and make something, fun happen without having to shut down streets and parking lots and stuff like we do for the street festivals. So.
And the Shop Small Saturday is going to include Santa being in the park, taking pictures.
Yep.
We're going to have Grumpy Gringo and Andy Bear Tubbs back down here serving lunch, doing a lunch menu only from 11 to 2. I think it's a great way to bring folks in and get them fed as well. We don't have a lot of restaurants down here, so we want to bring somebody in who can at least do a lunch menu. But
So, go ahead. The park is still under the purview of the
Parks Department.
Parks Department.
Yeah, we're gonna issue an application just like we did for the street, to see if we can use the park, and but we're coming to you guys first so we can try to start coordinating some stuff to get it ready.
we want your blessing.
Yep.
We want your blessing to do it.
Well, the park does a lot of things that we don't bless.
Like take our concert from downtown. No.
In looking at this, obviously, I think that needs to go with him. You already covered the licensing and royalty fees and everything like that. I'm a little concerned on the bottom one, the stringing the lights between the poles.
That's what I wanted to ask about. I wanted to ask
I'm a little
about that.
concerned with that just because of wind and the stability of the poles and.
Well, is that at first when Kim had brought it to me, I was talking to her. She was talking about maybe going back and forth, and I was like, well, with all the truck traffic, there's no way we could do that. But is it possible? Something that we could do possibly down the sidewalk?
That's what I thought that meant, was that there, and I'm just worried about the integrity of the poles themselves.
Yeah.
When we start hanging lights on them, when we start getting freezing rain, wind.
Yeah.
I just, they've questioned our banners at times.
Yeah.
We had to get a little bit stronger for our banners, just to make sure that they were not going to blow down or cause damage there. I would hate to see, I understand what you're talking about, but I don't know that I could support that portion of it.
Can we wrap the poles in Garland, or does the?
I'm gonna let the rest of the council answer that, and maybe ask Dave what his thoughts are on that.
The park did the Garland last year, didn't they? Or did you do that?
We partnered with the park, they did the Garland, we did the trees, they wrapped them last
Okay.
year. They did have lights on them, wrapping them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seemed to hold up.
Kim got with us late last year, so.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm brand new, so you guys are gonna have to tell me all about this stuff, because I'm interested. I want to know all about it. So,
Yeah, I think the poles would hold up great, just wrapping them.
okay.
We've never attempted to string anything from one pole to the other.
But wouldn't it be so pretty?
It would be cool. Seen it in other towns.
Right? I was thinking between the buildings, we could string lights between the buildings, but as he said,
You got way too much
we
different
can't do that, so.
building height and truck clearance.
It was just a thought. Just a thought, guys. Sorry.
But yeah, this is kind of our general idea on what we're going for and what we're thinking about doing this year. And like try to see about if we can start trying to coordinate with you guys as well as like streets and parks department, see about timelines and ideas and as far as trying to coordinate it and, make something happen down there, so.
You usually do them right around Thanksgiving, correct? Do you do it right before or right after?
It seems like we start that process right after Thanksgiving.
The Shop Small Saturday and the tree lighting, are those immediately after Thanksgiving? I don't have my calendar in front of me, so.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
So Black Friday is the 25th, I think.
Yep.
No, it's.
26th.
No, it's the 26th.
Okay.
So Black Friday is the 26th, and then Shop Small Saturday is the 27th.
So you want to do it before that?
Yes.
Well, the 26th and 27th is the dates we kind of got in mind for like that evening to make it like a whole,
Yeah.
like do the evening in the park the 26th and then do the Shop Small Saturday on the 27th. That we can try to capitalize on some of that and pull people in with.
I can stop by, meet with you, and let you know the resources that we have available. We have lights and decorations that we purchased in the past, with the council's blessing, of course. We can maybe come up with something pretty cool.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, 'cause we get a bunch of volunteers who will help out too as well. So. And we've got a lot of the smaller businesses over there that actually storefront businesses that are a little more apt to get on board now that we've started doing the street festivals. And so we're getting a lot more cooperation now than we was in the past. So.
The people that donated the tree last year said they would do it again this year. So I don't want to put them on the spot in case they've changed their mind, because it's been a year ago. So I can give you their name.
Okay. Perfect.
If anybody has a tree they want to sell or donate, that's always
Yeah.
the problem, is finding a large tree.
That's why I was just saying the same people that did it last year want to do it this year is what they said.
How big of a tree can we get in the park? I mean, what's
Well, there's an irrigation system in the park, so you got to really be careful on what you put in there as far as like anchoring and
Okay.
driving and so on. So.
Yeah, we're aware where all that's located. We have a bucket truck to stand it up there.
Okay. That would be great.
And just for the record, real clear, I want to make sure that I understand what's going on. The garland and the lights are going to be hung by the town, correct?
We have in the past always hung it, but with the Parks Department and Street Department, yes.
Okay, because I'm comfortable with that. If you're going with other people attaching things to it,
Yeah,
we open
that's
up the
when it
whole
becomes-
thing with liability.
That's why we're here. We just want to make sure we know exactly what we can and what we can't do,
And who we
I
can
don't wanna-
coordinate and not,
Yeah.
so on.
who to talk to and what
Yeah.
to do exactly. So,
We're learning with the street festivals and everything else, this is new for both of us, so we've kind of taken a lead on a lot of stuff over there to try to look out for us and not only just keep people coming in the doors and anything that we can do to get events downtown and get people downtown and doing stuff and talking is good, so.
So no votes necessary because we're not closing any streets, and their contact would be Dave Moore.
Yeah, and
Going forward.
that's basically what we wanted to get on here for, so we could start the
Start the buzz.
communication and start, getting back and forth with who we need to get to and not get to and so on and so forth, so.
Thank you.
And the more people we get on board to help, the better. That way we can try to make it something fun. And I'm even thinking about using Santa this year like we did last year. We teamed up with InnoCare and we sponsored 4 veteran families that were essentially displaced with children. We bought all their Christmas last year, their winter coats, clothes, shoes, stuff like that. So we kind of want to do the same thing this year as well. See if we can get a few more families involved, but they work strictly with veteran families. So that's one of the things we'd like to keep going this year as well. So, but we'd like to definitely get town council and, different departments involved and see what we can do to make it a good event. That's all I got.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda, electronic meeting resolution number 25.
And this was presented to you last meeting, and this is just kind of a rough mock-up of what has been done, we've done with other communities. So if the council is comfortable with the way that this is written up, then you can move forward with it. If you want to make revisions to it, just let me know and we can change the language within it.
I just had one question about that. It says audio and video in there, I believe. If video is not an option, could we still operate by calling in like we have in the past? Or the way I read it, I don't have it handy. It specified both audio and video. And we've never used video.
I think that is to allow whether it's audio and video, but the crux of it is that you have to be able to simultaneously communicate with each other. So if everybody can hear, then I think you're fine, but.
Okay, that was my only question.
Yeah, because it's participating meaning by any electronic means of communication.
So to answer his question, we can still do just the
Calls, correct.
calls, okay.
Because under section 2, it says that may participate in a meeting by any electronic means of communication that allows all participating members of the government body to simultaneously communicate with each other, and other than a meeting that's executive session allows the public to simultaneously attend and attend.
It's on page 2, under section 2, item B. It says, may participate in final action only if the member can be seen and heard.
That line there.
You see it?
I do, I see that. So we can review that if you want to just make that heard. Okay.
It does refer to Indiana codes. Is that not part of the Indiana code that it requires that?
The Indiana code requires that it be simultaneous communication. And so I think it was anticipated that some of it would be a voice conference because they do require a roll call vote. And so each person has to say yea or nay.
Did the redevelopment commission adopt this too? Or
Ours is a little bit more stringent.
What was that? It's a what?
Ours is more stringent. We put in like, you have to notify legal counsel, the president, that you're gonna be absent so many days before and things like that, so. And we've put Zoom calls and stuff like that up there,
Right.
so.
does this interfere with them?
No.
This is for what boards? Planning commission? BZA? Council?
This is going to be your council meetings.
Only council?
So the governing body that the council oversees. So you can't, with plan commission, you have other people who appoint
Right.
to that, same with the BZA. So really, you're looking at the council meetings.
Do all boards need to adopt this though?
If they want to have an electronic policy, yes.
Okay.
Or something like this.
And it doesn't matter if they're conflicting then?
Because it is their
Okay.
local rule.
Now, since it's a resolution by vote, could we amend this and just have can be heard and strike seen?
You can, I'd like to have it as a clean record, because since this is such a new concept in the state, I want to have a clean document, so I would rather type out, or you can take the vote, and then I can just clean that up, so that the one that you execute is clean, either way.
Questions or comments?
So are we gonna change it, the word and to or and or? So we could say seen and or heard?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Do we want to just have him bring back a clean copy and we'll vote on it next meeting, or do we want to vote on it this meeting?
The governor just extended the executive order, correct? So how long is that in effect for?
It's another 30 days, I think.
So it doesn't really matter. So, I mean, we've got the time anyway.
You have time, yeah.
So we just motion to table, and you can clean up the copy?
Yep, I'll bring a clean copy next time.
I'd make
And
a
I don't think
motion.
you even need to table, we can just put it on the agenda. I mean, it's up to you guys if you want it.
Go ahead and
I'd
motion.
make a motion to table till the next meeting for the cleaned up copy with the amendments we discussed.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Shane Dustin, 5-0. CARES Act transfer of funds. Diane, you want to go over this, or you want me to?
I can go over it.
Okay.
When we were first told about the CARES Act, the CARES Act money, we were told to track all COVID-related expenses. So we started keeping copies of invoices across all funds. But after the Indiana Finance Authority, who was in charge of processing the application and distributing the money, started getting all these separate invoices submitted, and they came out with a directive that if we had sufficient public safety payroll amounts from March to September to equal the amount allocated to us, then they would accept that as a single expense on the application, and it would be one step for us as well as them. That did not mean the money has to be used for that. It was just a means to simplify the process for everyone. However, since that's the approach we took, the money has to go back to the general until we decide how to use it, and it has to be appropriated.
Comments or questions for Diane? I need a motion to transfer a fund resolution 26, 2021 for a total of $314,834.
Say that total again.
$314,834.
Motion to approve Resolution 26, 2021, transferring COVID reimbursements to the general fund in the amount of $314,834.
Marvelous motion. Motion been made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Dustin Gregg, 5-0. Policy on council member after-hours access to clerk treasurer's office.
I'd just like a clarification, are all members allowed a key to that office? Your office?
I do have a statement that I'd like to read
Yeah.
to make some clarification on this process.
Okay.
It's a response to the allegations that one individual council member has had access, given special treatment to the clerk treasurer's office. In response to the statement that were made publicly by a council member, both on social media and in a council meeting, Councilman Tom Worthen has been given special treatment by the clerk's office. I would like to formally enter the following statement into public records. When I took office in January of 2020, Councilman Worthen already had a key to the clerk's office that was given to him by the previous clerk treasurer. As stated in the state statute, as the elected clerk treasurer for the town of Mooresville, I have all authority to reside over my office as I deem appropriate. Although I do not work under the authority of the town council, it is my desire to work alongside and in cooperation with them to the best of my ability to ensure smoothest operation possible of the town of Mooresville. While I typically would not hand out keys to my office to any other than my immediate staff, in the case of Mr. Worthen, there is a circumstance that I believe warrants an exception. I would also like to add that no other council member has ever asked me for a key or expressed the need for one. Had this been done, they would receive the same consideration if warranted. We are required by the State Board of Accounts to have internal controls in place. Part of the role of the town council is to review the invoices of the town and approve the claims at each council meeting. It has been past practice in previous administration that some of the council members would come into the clerk's office during business hours and review the claims, or come early to the meeting. As Mr. Worthen is a self-employed and operates a business during hours that the clerk's office is open, it is difficult for him to come in during those business hours. For that reason, he has had a verbal agreement with the previous clerk that he would come in after hours to review the claims. I feel that leaving them in a common area in the building would violate internal controls and is not something I would be comfortable doing. He does not have access to the personnel files, the safe, checks, or other confidential information. He typically likes to review the claims prior to the department head signing off on them, which is usually done on Friday. This allows him to leave notes, asking questions on the department heads, or something catching sales tax being paid, things that should be covered under warranties or maintenance agreements, or any number of other things that may have been slipped through. It is an advantage to my office to have those questions answered prior to the checks for the claims being written. Since I took office, I have not witnessed any council member asking to review each individual claim in any manner. My action involving any council member have always been an effort to do my due diligence as the clerk treasurer of Mooresville and uphold the office as I was elected to do. I believe I have treated all council members equally and fairly and deny any allegations suggesting otherwise. Thank you.
So the answer is all 5 members can obtain a key if they wish.
Not if you wish. You'd come in and talk to me one-on-one, and we would discuss the reasoning why you would need it. And if it's warranted, I would be more than happy to share a key. But to blatantly just give everybody a key to the office, absolutely not. We have our cleaning people that currently has a key to my office. We have a consultant that has a key to my office that uses our office equipment for other meetings. So if you come in and you say you want to look at invoices after hours, I would be more than happy to share that with you. But just to give you a key to be able to come and go freely whenever you want, I would like to have a reasoning why you would need a key. Anyone, not you in particular, but any council member.
I realize it's your office. I just don't think any of us should have a key to your office. That's my opinion.
Well, I think our council members...
Either all of us or none. That's the way I look at it.
Well, council members, they are required to take the internal controls that's required by the State Board of Accounts training. And it talks about giving you authorization for an access to certain documents. So I don't foresee a problem with it at this point. I'll be more than happy to talk to you any other time about it. But
We also get an electronic docket usually.
yes, but those electronic documents are just a summary. It's
That's
not
right.
a detailed docket. And what I've witnessed in the past, Mr. Worthen is a help to our office more than a hindrance to our office, because I've seen him identifying a department head overlooking the fact that that fee or that charge is covered in a maintenance agreement. And we've got over 40 contracts that we've signed just this year that it is impossible for myself or the accounts payable clerk know the minute details of all those contracts. And we've had those issues, and I know that if we have to pay sales tax, I'm the one that has to pay sales tax. He's caught those type of errors that, you know, we went out and used paid cash for something and came back with petty cash, and we ended up paying the sales tax. So I feel that he's helped us a lot in that manner. And I would encourage all town council members to periodically, if you don't see it, if you don't feel it's warranted on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, every once in a while come in and just look through them and see what all they're entailed. I mean, they're very detailed, but unfortunately our software system is very limited on the number of characters in the description, so we can't give you the whole background of the invoice.
I was on the council from 1999 until 2007. I went back on in 2015 and was given a key in 99 and was also given a key when I went back on. I usually take anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours to go through each invoice. I think every department head has got the sticky note and probably rolled their eyes and deflated when they see that. And you know, I'm sure it's a little bit of a joke. Chief Julian got the note, why did our oil changes go from $27 a piece to $51 a piece? And he explained it to me. It's not that I was mad that he was paying more for oil changes, I just wanted to know why they went up. What did we do wrong? We've caught cases where maybe one department's paying shipping from a vendor and another department's not. They don't cross those, they don't see those. Our fire department may not see what the police department's doing, and vice versa. I do it because I made a promise to everyone that voted for me, and even the people that voted against me, that I would do my absolute best and I would treat every dime that the town spends as though it were my own. I appreciate the things that Diana said. I don't come in during normal business hours. I do come in, it's been as early as 5 o'clock and it's been as late as 3 in the morning. I don't know, I guess the part that just shocks me is I never even dreamed that this would be something that the public would even, I thought maybe I was doing my job. And just to bring it up, I don't know if it's a distraction. I don't know why this bothers you, but I've been doing it.
I don't like it. As a taxpayer, I think the clerk should be in the clerk's office. It's where the money is, it's where all that is. I just don't think any of us should be in there. I talked to
How much money do we
Monrovia.
keep in there?
Well, we have a vault that all of our petty cash is, and plus it's behind a locked door. So we got a combination and a door lock, and there's ever no cash. There's no blank checks.
I'm not accusing anybody of wrongdoing. I just don't think we should have keys. That's just my opinion.
Okay, we're all entitled to that.
And I think it needs to be consistent on how they're given out. And when a new council member comes on, I think they should be told about it and that they're able to get one if they need one. I wasn't when I came on.
I don't think that's past practice, and I know I haven't suggested to a council member if for whatever reason that, example would be Jeff. He works nights. He sleeps during the day. He says, Diane, I want to come in and look at some invoices. I'm wanting to see what's going on in a certain area and want to know why we're doing this. Can I come in? I would absolutely say, well, let's bridge that gap for you and give you an opportunity to come in after hours. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, all you got to do is just come and talk to me about it.
Your office. I won't be asking for a key, but I would qualify under your self-employed exemption for Mr. Worthing. If that's the true reason he got one, I would qualify for that under the same exemption, because I'm self-employed. But I'm not going to ask for one. So that's just my opinion.
Anything else? Traffic study update. I forwarded an email. I got an email this morning at 8:40. It's, I forwarded it to each one of you individually. I'd like for it to be put on our agenda. I'm really confused. If you got a chance to look at it, we'll take it, let's discuss that at length. I didn't forward it to you, sorry. I'll get it to you. That's all. I just wanted to, in case you guys all got that and thought, what in the world is this? That was kind of different.
Are we inviting them back? Is that what we're doing to
Do what?
explain that? Are we inviting them back to explain that? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean.
I met with Dave today and he's got some ideas also.
Yeah, I just wasn't impressed with their thought process.
I agree.
I think they're completely out of touch with what we need.
Okay, well, I'd sent them an email asking after our last council meeting that they come and meet with Dave. They answered back with they had several hours of videos and ways to do that. And then, Dave, I don't know if they ever reached out to you. I think you were on that email train back and forth with them.
All I received is that email.
Okay, we'll try to get someone in here and let's talk about that at length. Department head reports. Before we do any of the department heads, I received this. There's been rumors of it. It is, and I will read this. It's from Brent Callahan. I'd like to submit my retirement notice effective October 30th, 2021. The last 34 and a half years have been a wonderful experience. I thank each board member through the years for their trust and guidance. We have been fortunate to have a loyal and hardworking staff at each critical phase. Together we build a department that I consider to be among the best. The department serves the public very well, and its operation is very sustainable. Now is time for me to step aside and let the next generation elevate the district up to the next level. Once again, thank you for the trust through the years. Respectfully, Brent Callahan. You know that I've often said that you put your finger in a glass of water and you pull it out and you don't have a hole. It just fills right back in. Brent used a lot of backhoes and heavy equipment up there. I think there's probably a few holes up there that we'll have trouble filling. But he's been an outstanding Mooresvillian, an outstanding supervisor for our Parks Department, and an amazing visionary for the town of Mooresville. And he's going to be missed, but he says he's going to enjoy himself now. That's the department head report for the Park Department. Next department head, who wants to go next? Not everybody at once.
Well, first thing, I've been receiving several calls, not to mention from just citizens, but also the park. They're all wondering what we're going to do about Halloween. The park is doing the Halloween hike on the 30th, which is Saturday, whereas Halloween is on the 31st, which is on Sunday. A lot of the jurisdictions around us are doing Halloween on Halloween. And the park and I are just wanting clarification. Is that what we want to do for the town and leave the Halloween hike the way it is? Because I feel even regardless of what we do, we're going to have trick-or-treaters. If we do Halloween on the Saturday night, we're going to have trick-or-treaters both nights. That's just my thoughts. Your opinions now.
We discussed this last year and said that we'd leave it the traditional Halloween day, didn't we?
I don't know if we did it. I don't remember the last year's conversation, but the year before it was going to be extremely cold, and we had a lot of people.
Yeah, maybe it was the year before.
And we kind of said, hey, it's the 31st.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. You guys changed the route on the parades, and I have no candy to give out whatsoever for Halloween for the trick-or-treaters. So I'm all for, you know what, I live in the North Addition, the new addition built in 1957, and you know, we used to see, I'm going to say, several hundred trick-or-treaters, and with the Halloween hike, they kind of dwindled down. And I'm kind of excited about having it a different night to where we see those kids again. I mean, it is fun and enjoyable. I got a call from a downtown merchant wanting to know the same thing, and I'm going to stick with my guns on the traditional night. Any comments?
I'd agree with that. Halloween's Halloween.
Dane?
I tend to think so as well.
Greg?
Yeah, it'll work out better for me on Saturday, but I'll go with whatever anybody wants. You know what we always do.
Yeah.
Do you still trick or treat? Do you still
hate to
trick or
say it,
treat with your
We
grandkids?
throw open the garage and.
If you guys want to do it on Halloween, do it on Halloween. I really don't care.
Well,
I'm going to take my kids out like the entire month, so I get that candy tax. So
So I guess the consensus is leave it the way it is, and I'll relay that to the park.
Yep.
Next agenda is the budget you requested for the Canine program. Sorry, Joel, I don't have one for you.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank you. Some of these are approximate, some of these Sergeant Schultz has actually gotten actual quotes on. The first big one you'll see is the budget for the actual Canine itself. Councilman Cook has expressed his desire to get a good, fully trained dog purchased, and then the other, which we're approximating around $13,000 with the vendor that we are thinking about going through. And then the other cost would be, they're going to have to go out there one time with the coordinator and the handler to pick the dog, and then once that dog is picked, they'll have to go out there, the handler itself will go out there from 1 to 2 weeks, we don't know which, and get familiarized and trained with the dog. So that's the added cost for that of travel, housing, and any other incidentals that might be for that. The rest of the stuff is pretty much equipment. Down at the bottom, we've approximated the food about $600 a year, $400 for vet checks and shocks and routine medical maintenance. And then I added in another $3,000 for incidentals, miscellaneouses, and emergencies. If you have any questions with regards to anything on this, Sergeant Schultz is here to answer the questions to the best of his ability.
On the kennels, is this because of changes in vehicle styles? We
These
can't,
kennels are for the home.
oh, those are for the home, okay.
Dave, you want to tell me the difference between the two? So you got one larger and one smaller. Right here.
What was your question?
The difference between the two kennels.
Between the pet mate wire kennel and the Luck Dog European style kennel with the predator top. The one with the predator top would be for the outside. It's a big welded wire, 5 foot by 10 foot by 6 foot run style kennel, and that would be for maintaining the dog either outside or maybe possibly inside of a structure where the dog can have more room to run rather than just be caged somewhere inside of a house.
Vendor, who are we getting the dog from?
This quote that I have here recently was from Roger Reardon in Rhode Island. That is kind of the direction that the administration and myself have kind of leaned toward here lately. That's not solidified yet. We don't have an actual hard quote yet.
How did we get Roger's name?
He's part of the American Police Canine Association, which we've been a member of for the last 7 years.
Okay. Did you guys reach out to Deal?
I did not. I don't know if any of our other, any other people I
Chief,
talked
did
to
you?
had.
I have not, no. Does he do fully trained dogs?
Yes.
And who's that?
He's the Indianapolis officer up there.
Okay.
Got a kennel on the side, yeah.
He supplies IMPD.
I don't necessarily know I don't know who supplies IMPD, but I do know he has a kennel that he travels the world doing this stuff. I do know that. You've heard of him, I'm sure.
Yeah, just because of my dog,
Right.
I've ran across 5 different people in Indiana that seem to travel to Germany, Serbia, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So.
Can you get that guy's contact information to them?
They have it.
Okay. Okay. Any questions? We're good then.
Next thing I have is vehicles.
Hey, sir.
We're currently looking at the 2022 F-150 Responder truck. It is a pursuit-rated all-wheel drive vehicle. Lieutenant Rogers went through and got quotes for most of the stuff that I have in here. This is kind of a rough draft just due to the, between last town board meeting and here. The total cost with the equipment and everything we need to get it serviceable for the road, if we went with Andy Moore, it'd be $50,604. If we went with Bedford Ford, $47,669. And we've got quotes from both of those. And if you look, and also there, got the quotes for the radars, the stuff from Waymire, and the 2 quotes from Andy Moore and Bedford. I think that is it, and the quote from Rebel. You'll see the quote says for the Explorers, but it will be the same cost for the trucks.
How much is a Ford Explorer?
They're about 1,000 less to 2,000 less.
Is that quote in here?
Not in this, I can get you that quote.
What is wrong with the SUVs? Are they no longer suitable for us anymore? Why are we wanting to go to the F-150s?
Well, a lot of the trucks, like with the radar, we can trail that ourselves. We have the potential of being able to put a plow on front of them so we can plow our own parking lot.
On patrol vehicles?
Well, the mount for it. I don't know, is that feasible?
On a pickup truck?
Yeah.
With 150s?
150s?
Well, you're just doing your parking lot, then, yeah.
I'm just gonna go on record and say I'm not a fan of putting a snow plow on a patrol police vehicle. This opinion.
Gotcha.
Now, the total is, you said vehicle plus equipment, so that includes equipment, right?
Yes, down at the bottom.
Installed, ready to go, huh?
Huh?
Installed, ready to go?
Yes.
Cool.
Well, Randy will be doing some of the installing, but that's what it would be.
Custom touches.
Questions? What else you got for us?
Alrighty. Next thing is body cameras. This is through Spillman, or Motorola Spillman, however you want to say it. And this is their equivalent to the body-worn cameras, which, from what I was told, they're also a vendor through Motorola and Spillman. I don't know exactly what the difference is between the two. And what I would like to do, because I am not going to be able to answer all your questions on this, because the guy who comes in and gave us the sales pitch, he knows all the answers to this. I do not. At the total cost for this is for, I believe, 22 cameras, and basically they're kind of dumbed down to where you really can't do much manipulation to. The officer can do it themselves. It's like on 24/7 when it is on your body or activated. You activate it for audio for certain things. I know the body-worn cameras, they have gun sensors, they have fall sensors, they have a bunch of different sensors you can get on, which is the competitor to this right here. The big difference is that for a 5-year contract for this, because this is basically you're leasing the equipment, the total cost is $69,006. Or if you went with the equivalent through body-worn, theirs is $254,505, and that's with only 21 cameras. Now, the thing you got with the WatchGuard is this integrates with our system, and it actually comes with a module, which by itself is usually around $10,000 or $12,000, and it's an evidence module, which basically downloads this, the video, and logs into the Spillman system. And if you look at, I think it's up at the top, it's got, it's Command Central Evidence, Records, Redaction. You can share it. You can make crime maps like some of the other municipalities do and put that on social media. It has engagement capabilities. Any of your evidence, whether it be photograph or video, you can automatically upload it. It has the ability for an officer to make a QR code and show it to somebody if they want to use tips, and they can just use that QR code and it goes straight to that case. There's a lot of versatility to the whole program. The thing I like is the price tag compared to the body worn. Again, what I'd like to do in a couple weeks is try to get the vendor to come in and explain it to you better than I can. And the last thing I have for you, which also the vendor will have to do, this is one of the modules that helps keep some of the mapping capability, both with the body cameras, but also our CAD system. This is the Geo Base. And I definitely cannot explain this to you guys. This would definitely have to be the vendor to explain it, because I am not versed into it. I just know it's something that has to be attached to some of our modules that give us a little bit more versatility when it comes to mapping and location.
Mapping what?
Like GPS for the body-worn cameras, the mapping, it would be able to put you right where it's at on a map. We don't have that capability right now.
We have in the cars?
We have it, but it's hit and miss with the way that the GPS pucks are. Sometimes they're working, sometimes they're not. You could have it on, and then if you happen to, let's say the laptop dies or something like that, and you start it back up, you would have to pull it back out again, but you wouldn't know that it's not working. So this is just a lot of stuff for you guys to chew on. Again, I would like to get the vendor to come in and actually be able to explain it to you properly, than have me mess it all up. If you're open to that.
What else you got?
That's the last thing.
Cars, did you reach out to that guy from Enterprise?
No, I have not did that either. We had did that once before, and we found out there's something with that, but I can't honestly remember what it was about the leasing program. I just wish I could remember what it was that we didn't, and I can't remember if I told you that or not, or somebody else.
No.
But we had a discussion about it. I just can't remember what specifically was the reason there was a detractor to using, and maybe Lieutenant Rogers might remember that. I don't.
Well, I think the detractor was, they've always, it's just, we've always had, at the end of the 3-year lease, the car was ours.
Yes.
And we had a dollar residual at the end of it. And one of the things that they do to try to make it more attractive or more affordable is have maybe a $7,000 or $8,000 residual on it. And then at the end of it, go ahead and trade it back in, because it's going to be more valuable at 3 years than it is at 5 years. We just never had the luxury of being able to go every 3 years. But I think if we're going to keep an open mind, we might as well at least reach out and say, okay, here's what we've got. I would still like to see the SUV quotes on that also, with the equipment. At least personally, I would. Because I know that, we talked about in the when we went with the new Model Explorer, that we had to have different gun vaults and everything like that, because we wanted to keep the guns safe. I guess my question is, where do we keep, do we buy the old-fashioned gun rack at the truck stop and put it in the back window, or what do we do with the guns in the pickup trucks?
They have under-seat vaults for the rear seat.
We still put prisoners in there, transport prisoners in it and everything? Okay. And is that included in the equipment, the vaults?
Yes.
Okay. Other questions?
Is that from Andy Moore?
I got 2 quotes, one from Andy Moore and one from Bedford.
If you look at mine, council, mine quote has no decisions on there for the.
I saw that. Anything else?
Well, I think I know on the one Matt's got, you got to remember that is a extremely base model. This has, like, the Explorers will have a lot more electronics on them as far as the headlight flashers and stuff like that, so. And
Explorers or the truck?
The Explorers.
Okay.
Because I know he's got a quote on the Explorers, which I have seen. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Matt? Dave?
Wait him out. Okay, so at the last council meeting, I was asked to come back with a quote for moving the signal pole at Main and Indiana. I've spoken with Midwestern Equipment about that, Midwestern Electric. He wasn't able to put together a firm quote for us at this meeting. He said it's going to take about 2 weeks, but he's ballparking it around $50,000, and that's to move the pole kind of back into the southwest and hide it behind that corner of the flower bed up there. He thinks that would be the cheapest route. And he feels also it'd be safe there.
Do we own that property there?
We do have right of way up to the face of that flower bed, yes. We would have to alter the handicap ramp a little bit, remove the flower bed curbing there, and bring it down flush. But we do have room to move it back. It's 6 or 8 feet, and to the south, about 3 feet.
You're talking about the flower bed that's with the pole,
Yes.
that little, it's small.
A small flower bed that's crumbling
Yeah.
from all the trucks hitting it. We would just eliminate that, bring it down smooth, if we could. But I will have a firm quote. I should have that at the next council meeting. Any questions about that? Okay. I was also asked to get prices on equipment. Excuse me just a second.
Discuss those. The amount.
At that total, I would not. What am I thinking about that? Because
We plan on going through Sourcewell where they're bid specific.
Okay. I would just go through Sourcewell and get whatever you get through there. I don't know that. Not necessarily a sealed bid, but it's more than I thought it was going to be.
So,
I would have shared those numbers.
okay. It was brought to my attention that we need to take our street sweeper out of commission. I spoke with 2 vendors. The third vendor, we demoed their product a few years ago, and it just didn't make the grade. However, I do have a couple of vendors that we can use a program called Sourcewell where we can be bid specific and get the sweeper that we want or need. I can bring those totals in a sealed bid next.
I mean, that's what my recommendation would be: set up your bid spec through Sourcewell, have them bid on that, and then we just have it here, and then you go with the lowest.
Okay.
Is Sourcewell, will that circumvent the advertising?
I'm not.
Sourcewell it's a, say for instance, we wanted a Ford pickup. They go by bids that were provided by other municipalities in the past. We can piggyback off of those bids.
Are they out of Texas?
I'm not sure.
Because there was a program like that I dealt with in a different municipality that was out of Texas. That I had some heartburn to begin with, but then once we went through everything, I got comfortable with. Why don't you and I talk about that process and who they are, so.
Thank you. I spoke with Kenworth. They can't give me a quote. They can't tell me when trucks will be in. They have no idea. They're just nothing out there, and they're not making anything. However, I did find an upfitter in Ohio that has a new Kenworth cab chassis, and they upfit with the plow and the dump bed. They have one available. If you like, I can get the price on that. I found that out at 4:30 this afternoon. I can get that price and bring it back at the next meeting. Or they bought 5 Kenworths last year. They have 2 left. Now, I'm not trying to, but I don't know if if it will be available at the next meeting there.
Is it the same thing you spec'd out through Kenworth?
It
Same
is.
exact truck?
Same cabin chassis, a little bit different bed made out of a different material. It's a stainless steel bed. They make their own plow. But yeah, it's the same truck, same outfit that we need. Just everything's upfitted through this company instead of Palmer Fabrication that we've always used in the past. Any questions on that? My next thing, in 2012, we had turnover of employees. When the assistant street superintendent retired, we replaced him with another. I never did fill that spot. I've been through my budget. I'm pretty sure that it's funded. I just never have filled it. Didn't have the need, but with the way that the town's growing, villages of Eastmore, the Gateway, Merriman Road, Bethel, the two new proposed subdivisions, I would like to fill that spot. I'd like to check with Debbie to help go over my numbers, make sure I'm right, but I'm pretty positive that the funding is there for a new employee at the street department.
It's not a new employee, it's.
I'm sorry.
It's filling a position that's
filling a
unfilled.
position that I never filled in 2012.
I think in 2012, there was some type of hiring freeze, wasn't there?
I think there was, yes.
So, some tough times then. So I would, every day, you get a call that says, hey, can you look at this? Hey, can you look at that? And I know that really cuts into your nap time, you told me. I think was your exact words. But I mean, if it was on there, if it's in there, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a whole lot better or perfect, but it's better than what it was in 2012. And if the funding is there, I think during our budget meeting, we kind of thought that it was still there. Pretty sure it was still there. Well, I would say my thought process would be get with Debbie, go through those because she knows the payrolls and everything like that, and see what we got. Any comments from the council?
If it's budgeted, he doesn't need a vote from us, just letting us know.
Yeah, just a courtesy of saying, here we are.
So go for it, correct? Assuming that you're correct, that it's a budgeted position.
I would like to have someone else look at my numbers. All right, thank you.
So the couple things, over the last couple of months, or actually I'm sorry, weeks, I've noticed some bills coming in a little bit late, and coming to find out that the firewall that we have with the town is basically kind of rejecting some of those. Just kind of giving you guys heads up. I've kind of talked with Steve a little bit. We're kind of getting some of those emails fixed. I know some of the emails I've sent out to some of the other agencies, when I say that with fire departments and stuff like that, they're getting kicked. They're not getting those because our firewall is rejecting them. So we're trying to fix that problem. I know, I'm sure Tom probably caught it. If you guys looked at the invoice, there was two of them. There was Firehouse, right? Mm-hmm. And they were like a month late. And we got the bill in the mail, and that's how I noticed it and started kind of putting two and two together. So just kind of giving you guys heads up. Steve and I are going to be working with that, and I'm sure he'll be reaching out and either giving me the permission to move forward and getting things fixed on our firewall issues with the firehouse.
Well, in the claims, there's a claim for Steve for $7,600 on migrating our email over, and I thought that was supposed to take care of a lot of that problem.
That's kind of what I was thinking too, but
he has filed a claim for the first batch of work.
The only other thing I had was the quotes that you guys asked for the fire department. I put it out in your guys' packet with going from Fletcher, Chrysler, Dodge, and Franklin with Community Ford here in town, and then Bloomington, John Jones, and then Andy Moore. As you look at that list, it gives you the pricing on all that. Now, that's not, the only one that did give us a price for lighting packages and stuff like that was John Jones. And that was why it was the highest, was 45. But other than that, looking at our equipment, we think some of our lights will interchange with new vehicles, so we wouldn't be using roughly, but a lot of the vendors were saying you go within about $5,000 to $6,000, depending on what goes on, if we had to switch out new lights and stuff like that, and consoles. Because my understanding with Chief Jillian, a lot of the new 2021 Ford Interceptors with our consoles won't match since we got 2014 vehicles.
And how many of these would you want?
If you look at the bottom, I have 3 staff vehicles right now. Mine that I am driving, and then the Division Chief J.D. Robinson is driving. Those were actually purchased or received from the police department. Those have the mileage of 59,000 and about 70,000, and those are both 2014s. And then Chief Metzger's has a 2014 that has about 28,000. So I would keep that one because it's got the less mileage. So 2, basically.
Do you know of any reason why the Community would be so much cheaper than the Andy Moore?
So when I was talking to Andy Moore about the pickup trucks and kind of figure out all the trucks, the comment was said to me is that they do not really have the government bidding. It's actually the community had the state contract, and with the chip shortage and not knowing what is going to come, they're not honoring the state award bid. They're only giving so much discounts, and that's it.
That's what Andy Moore said?
That's what Andy Moore said,
And
yes.
Community is saying, because I think Bloomington Ford is really the one that has that.
Yes, Bloomington Ford is the one that actually has the bid, but they house all their police cars here because they have a bigger lot. The 21s, there's a few of them on lots. The 22s, it's just a matter of when are we going to get them.
Is Community telling you they have that police interceptor for that price?
Yes.
2022?
2021, I'm sorry. Oh, that was the.
No, 22.
I'm sorry, yes, the 2022, sorry, I got my number, I looked at the wrong page, or line. The 2022, it's in order, it's just a matter of when it's going to be. It could be.
It's on order.
Right. It's got a VIN number from the dealership. It will basically come out in maybe January, or it may be December of next year.
Was that 11-month span there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm just telling you what they told me.
Okay.
Covering all bases, right?
Yep.
It will be within the time frame of.
I have nothing else.
Well, thank you. Any other department heads? Public comments? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I should have just called the police department or something, but I want to know if you've heard of the intersection at 144 and 67, Lindy's, people going straight through that. When you're westbound on 144, you're coming near the State Road 67. There's a turn lane into Wendy's, but there's also a proper turn lane onto 67 North that the other morning, I drive a school bus for Mooresville Schools, and 3 people shot by me on the right. I was sitting in traffic and was waiting to get up to turn right to 67 North. Do you understand what I'm talking about, that intersection?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's happened since I've been here. And when officers see it, I stop people for doing it. And as you can see, over on South Street and 144, that was the same problem they had there. they were turning, instead of turning on South Street, they were using it as a turn lane to get on 267 from 144, and it caused a lot of traffic. When we see it, we address it. I know what's going on. It's been going on since I've been.
Yeah, I figured it wasn't anything new, but I wanted to tell you that's, it gets me on the defensive as the person using the correct lanes to watch somebody not shoot by on the right. That's all. In other business, Tom, I talked to you and I said I would like to donate a couple flags, state flags, made in USA, beautiful state flag. This is Flagtown, Indiana. I'd like to see more flags flying around town.
Well, I want you to give that to that man right there.
Okay.
I had kind of prepared him, that you were going to be in here to give him those flags. And also, one of the comments that keeps ringing out to me is, from one gentleman, is that we don't have state flags at our gateways. And I'd talk to you about, is there a chance to put a flagpole there with a state flag? And I think he was going to look at that.
Yeah, it does say on the gateways, the Indiana state flag. But another place, I wonder if I could give one to the fire chief, if he'll fly it at Station 1. They're real visible, because I'm a big believer in the state government, especially with the current administration in the federal government, and constitutionally, way back then, I believe it's the state government is the primary level of government, and local governments, but the state government is our primary source of government in the United States. Feds are just supposed to do a few things well, foreign and domestic wars and things like that. And I'm a veteran, and I love the flag, I love America, but I just also, I'm big on promoting the state and the state flag, and this is Flagtown, Indiana, and I saw 4 Old Glories on Indiana, North Indiana Street from downtown to towards the school, and no state flag. So I just, as we've said at your shop, I just like to see more flags around town here, especially with 200-year anniversary coming up. I know it's not the only thing Mooresville's known for, but it's a beautiful flag, and I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you. Any other public comments? And I apologize, I don't remember your name. Randy.
Randy Brown, South Street.
My name is Brian, excuse me, my name is Brian Turley. I came here tonight just to see what the agenda held and what the comments were this evening. One of the issues that I found was very interesting was the policy on the council member after hours access to treasurer's office. Not sure, I can only imagine where that may have come from. Not sure why. I, just as a citizen of the Mooresville area, I kind of wish that there was a lot more collaboration instead of an undermining of people's position in the community. I don't know why that is. I think everybody has their own agenda on a lot of things. Tom and I have known each other for a lot of years. I wouldn't necessarily even consider us friends until a recent event where I had to deliver a letter to you. I don't even know that I'd even talked to you in the last 25 or 30 years, quite honestly. But I think a lot of Tom, as my father did. I think he's a hardworking individual that has a work ethic that is incredible. I think that, Diana, your comments were well received by myself at least, and I hope a lot of the other people in the audience. I would just like to say that I think Tom has the character that should be commended, and we all should aspire to be. And I just want to point that out. And I think if, again, with some collaboration instead of some undermining, I think the town council as well as the planning commission would work a lot better for the need of Mooresville, which I know Tom has had in his heart from the very beginning. So I just want to pass that along. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Motion for approval of payment of claims.
Motion to approve claims in the amount of $501,463.88.
Motion been made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Greg, Jeff, 5-0. Town council comments?
I have none.
Nope. Greg?
I'm good, thank you.
Well, it's my turn. The council so graciously allowed me to pursue some complaints that we were getting about specifically two planning commission members. I will be forwarding you, I've kind of worked with Chul, kind of went back and modified some things, but I will be sending each of you the kind of final draft after Chul sees it. And then if you want to do it at our next council meeting, that's great, but I've already kind of softly spoken to the commissioners at our Lincoln Day dinner, and they are very aware of this letter that is coming. So I will be sending each of you those. If you want to approve it, that's great. If you want to preemptively approve it, that's great, but everybody's aware about this letter, just not the contents.
I think we had a consensus at our last meeting that we wanted to address issues that we've all been made aware of. We've asked, you've worked with legal counsel on...
Yes. He said it was tricky, but it was tricky.
Is it sugar-coated?
I don't think it was sugar-coated. It's very blunt. How about direct? I'll go with direct.
The members want to see this letter, and then...
I would like to see it, yes.
Same.
So we'll do that. Please forward that to us.
We'll do that.
We've received a lot of requests, and that's what we asked for. Dave, I think you're probably the only department head here that can attest to, because we've probably made the most purchases when you needed a mini excavator, when we bought a Bobcat with tracks, when we bought another Bobcat. We can do this. We just can't get it in the budgets. Same way with the two fire trucks. When we purchase those, this is how we do this. I mean, none of our departments have enough money in their budgets to fund these kind of projects, but there are ways to do it, and this is what it took to do it. And I appreciate you department heads that have worked on that and brought those to us. I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion on these in the very near future. Our next meeting day will be Tuesday, October 19th. You guys want to have it here? What time?
6:30? Is that
Okay.
good for you?
Next meeting day will be here,
It'll be trick-or-treat.
October 19th at 6:30. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Justin, Greg, 5-0. Your computer?